Hello right bags, it's Jade Plays Games, welcome to the Access Show. Today on the Access Show we're taking an in-depth look at Scum. Coming out at the end of the month, Scum is a brand new hardcore survival game coming to PC. It's got some really unique stuff going about it. I've been looking forward to this one, been covering it the last few months, watching all the information I can, gathering it all up, and now it's come close to the release. I thought it's about time I fill you in completely about what Scum is. Undoubtedly, this could be one of the most unique hardcore experiences you're going to play in a long time. So come with me, it's the Access Show, everything you need to know about Scum. Releasing on the 29th of August in early access on Steam, this open world survival mashup of different game types is coming at last. It's been in development for quite a while and they have plans to be in development in early access for at least a year to give itself a really good solid start. Published by Devolver, made by two smaller independent studios, Scum is a real mix of everything you know about survival and battle royale. It takes place on a fictional island that is also home to a TV show. You are convicts, you are prisoners, you are forced to live and survive on this island, and people can help you. Very much like the Hunger Games, you can get sponsors from people watching. They will be able to give you loot drops, give you perks, give you legs up, head starts in the game while you're watching the game. Maybe not at launch, but it's definitely part of their ideas for the show, for the game. There is single player, but the core of this game is going to be online. The servers are going to be fully online obviously, and it's going to hold up to 64 players. The Scum servers are also going to be quite different, that you may have servers that have short lengths, you may have servers that are much more longer and persistent. It all depends what game mode you're playing. Now it's not 100% clear how this will actually work, whether it's going to be events that are just held on the persistent servers, or whether or not you will be able to choose a shorter server length. But from what I've read, it said there's different experiences and that servers may last only a few minutes, like 20, and they may even last longer, days and weeks even. Now, don't be too worried if you're not a fan of Battle Royales. It looks like it's going to be quite optional how you play it. Like I said, it's a real mashup of survival and Battle Royale. The premise is that you're running around surviving on this island prison trying to escape, and that is the ultimate goal. But you can also have the Battle Royale features when you decide to. There's going to be game modes that you can join, and you'll simply tab on an option and it will take you to a Battle Royale mode. This is just the start of what the developers want to do. In the future, and not part of their initial plans, is the possibility of having even more game modes, more event styles, more experiences that you can join in while surviving on the island of Scum. But it does seem like it's very much like other survival games like Dayz. If you're killed on the server, that is it. It is game over and you have to either restart from the very beginning, or you may not be able to restart on that server at all and you'll have to join a new one. Remember, the ultimate goal is to escape the island and be the last man that wins the tournament, the TV show in the game. The island does look like it's got many diverse biomes already in it, and of course weather is going to play a big part. Water and getting wet will really hamper you down. If you get drenched, you're going to be heavier, so it's going to make it harder to carry your packs and your weapons and your items. And the depth they've gone to in understanding how water works and showing that you simply just can't switch a shirt around and expect to be bone dry within seconds really plays out. You can dry your items near an open fire. If you get wet just from the feet, it's only your feet that are going to get wet. If you're wearing waterproofs, obviously it's going to protect your clothes underneath. And it's not just your weight that's affected by being wet, it's your hunger. You're going to be using more energy, obviously carrying more items because you are wet, and there are possibilities of maybe sickness being implemented in the game if you're too cold as well. Not to mention being too hot can affect your stamina levels and again your calorie intake. So PvP check, Battle Royale modes check, survival, but what does survival actually mean? What you'll be doing mostly is running around gathering food and really paying attention to your environment. There are lots of different animals and wildlife around that will cause you lots of damage. Already seen are bears, wolves, there are things like pigs, birds, rabbits, you name it. If you can kill it and eat it, it's probably in the game. Scum is very much like Dayz in terms of being a hardcore survival game. It's not simply a case of just eating and you buff your health. There are all different types of ways that influence and affect your body and your gameplay. The devs have done a fantastic job of doing featurette videos explaining all their complex systems. It could be one of the most complicated and complex survival systems I've ever seen in a game. Think of Grand Theft Auto Andreas, where you could actually buff your character by going to the gym and you'd get stronger, or you could get fatter by eating. Notch that up by about 100 and you have some idea of where Scum is going. Your body weight, your size affects everything you do in the game. If you're big and fat and large, you're going to be able to have less food. You will be able to go much longer, but you will be slower and you won't have as much stamina. If you're a skinny dweeby guy, then you're definitely going to have a little bit more agility. You're going to be able to do a lot more climbing and jumping much easier, but you will struggle to do some basic things like even hold a gun correctly. Gunplay matters in terms of your body shape and your survival skills that you've put into your attributes. If you are a dweeby guy and you haven't put any points into strength, or you've buffed your strength skills, you will have trouble keeping that gun steady. Best bit about it can all change. Just like I said with GTA San Andreas, you will be able to buff your body. You can get thin, you can get bigger, you can get stronger, you can adjust and work on stuff that you need to if you want to get better at one side of the survival aspect. The systems on play in the game are incredible. I don't really know how much of it we'll see in game, or whether or not it's just something developers are using as a brand new gimmick to get us to watch it, but there's things like your heart rate, your pulse, your blood flow, lots of body mass index indicators. There is so much crazy stuff going on. It even matters if you get your teeth knocked out. Yes, if you get punched in the mouth and you lose a few teeth, you may have trouble then eating, and you might find you could even starve if you've lost all your teeth. You'll have to find liquid foods to sustain yourself until you could either get some dentures, or it could possibly be a permanent marker against you. If you get a shot in the head, it affects your intelligence. So while you may recover from that bullet hole gaping through your skull, you might not actually have the brains to compute and function just as much as you did beforehand. As you would expect, there's lots of gunplay in the game as well as the survival aspects, but combat, melee combat and unarmed combat takes a big focus too. From the featurettes, it really does seem like it's a good system, robust. You can do things like combos. It matters exactly where you punch. You've got different types of guarding. You can learn and increase your combat skills as well. And again, how sizable you are, how big or small you are, can affect, and what attributes you've pumped your points into will also affect. Not too clear yet whether it's going to have some traditional point stat pumping like other games, or whether it really all is based on the actions you do that you gain them points. I imagine it does have some sort of perk system or point system where you can do it so that you can get a bit better at guns, and obviously where you start from, how you choose your character, that is also going to make a big impact on how you start and play the game. So, hardcore survival mechanics, you've got PvP, you've got different game modes, you're going to have different server types, you're going to have wildlife attacking you, and it matters how you play the game, whether or not you're going to be someone who just runs around speedy, quick, using melee skills maybe, or you're going to be a bit of a tank but really good at using a gun. But that's not all. Guess what else they're adding to the game? What else do we need in a survival game? Of course we need zombies. Now, we all know zombies are cliche, but in this game the zombies are unique. They come from the dead bodies of other players. That is right, when you die, your leg bone doesn't become a nice juicy morsel for the wolves. You in fact rise as a zombie, and your zombie character will be running around the map causing mayhem and trying to get at the remaining players. Now, a lot of the featurettes do feature zombies in the world on the map. Whether or not they're already there or they are strictly just the players, we don't know 100%. I've even had a thought that you might still be able to play the game once you are dead as a undead zombie. Now, that's not confirmed, but it did seem a little bit interesting they'd go to that much effort. Apparently the zombies retain the information you have put inside them as well. So if you've become big and huge, they're going to be slow. If you're a skinny guy that died, they're going to be fast. Taking out the zombies is going to be pretty difficult, but there are lots of gunplay and there's lots of different types of weapons you can choose and find. You're also going to be able to craft and make stuff. It is going to be very interesting how it all plays out. Bullets really do have that hardcore feel to it in terms of travel time, and the way that you fire the guns is extremely realistic. If you think you're a pro at sniping on Fortnite, think again. You're going to need to adjust them skills, account for the wind, account for the weather, account for elevation. It all matters when you're taking long pot shots at someone. And again, your skills can affect how well you shoot. If you increase your strength, like I said earlier, you will be able to hold the gun more steady. But that's not the only thing that affects your aim. Drugs and status types do too. If you've taken any drugs, if you've taken anything that might cause you ill effects, that is going to take notice when you're trying to aim at someone. You're going to be shaky, it's going to be harder, your reflexes, your instincts are going to be a little bit slower or duller. So you really will need to be careful about what you eat and what you put into your body, whether or not it affects you in the next moment when you're face to face with a giant massive grizzly bear, a zombie player, or, did I mention the mechs? There are mechs in the game as well. Who needs just zombies? Who needs just other players? Why not throw some mechs in the game? The mechs look like they're part of the show's security force. Maybe they're around just to patrol areas you shouldn't be in, or maybe it'll be a threat that gets jumped into the map. Not much has been revealed about it other than the fact it is obviously in the release trailer. Now, Scum has had quite a few different types of alphas, pre-alphas over the last year, but August the 29th is the first attempt and chance for everyone to give it a go in early access on Steam. Absolutely no news about it coming to console, but with the system so complex that they're showing, I really think we might not see this come on this generation. However, you never know. I do believe it's still utilising a lot of the same engines that are current today and that have made it over to the console systems. I love getting behind a brand new game, especially when developers have done such a good job of highlighting and showcasing what's actually in the game. But remember, this isn't all going to be here at launch. I'm sure some of these features aren't going to be implemented and maybe until well into the roadmap of the game's existence. So don't expect all of this stuff to be there. Developers have in fact mentioned it a few times in their little featurettes that these features are going to be incoming, but they've just used them for the demo purposes to show you what Scum is all about or what they want it to be about. With so many complex systems, with so many different types of gameplay, evolving emergent gameplay, this game has got so much potential, but it could also be just a big fat mess. That's why I'm desperate to get a chance to play it, and I can't wait to show you guys what the world of Scum involves, what it entails, and whether or not I can be the ultimate TV prisoner star. If you want more information, go and check out that YouTube channel. You will find one of the funniest people I have seen do featurette videos for a games dev. Really good scripts, really give you lots of information but in an entertaining way. As I said, I'm looking forward to this game, trying it out and seeing if it can deliver on the promise it's shown already. Expect to see a fair amount of content on this when it comes out. Hardcore survival games are back in vogue. I mean, I don't know if they've ever really left. With Armour, then realistic shooters came about. Dayz, of course, the mod that really kicked off the trend for having a hardcore survival game. But Dayz has floundered in the past few years, and it maybe is time for some of these brand new games to take that idea and evolve with it, and I think that's what I'm really pleased about Scum. It's also got a sense of humour, its own sense of style, and definitely its own sense of a game. So let me know what you think about Scum. What are the big pluses for you? What are the negatives? Absolutely pop them in the comment section down below and tell me whether or not you want to see me play this game when it comes out on the 29th of August. I'm Jade Plays Games. This has been another Access show. Catch me tomorrow for another one.